Alright, before the whole explanation and recording begin, I'm going to give you a TLDR on the numbers, just in case you were here for specifically that and nothing else. Also, your starting class and weapon is completely up to you. The lance is for the specific build that I make for this guide, but this guide just shows where all of the materials are generally. Make your way through the start of the game as normal, getting north from the first step to get your horse, but make sure that you stop in the Church of Ella and get that first shard that's on the anvil, and also have access to the merchant for later. After you have Torrent, head north toward the path that takes you around Stormvale and into Liurnia. Stop at the Field of Giants that's after the first big spring step in order to get a couple of stones on the way. The lance that I use for the rest of the video is just north of this on a ruin by the War Master's Shack Race, but for other builds, this is the point where I would grab your weapon, if you can. Once you have what you need, get back on track to Liurnia, and once you're there, if you're following along with the build in this video, you can head northeast along the cliff face to Lakeside Crystal Cave and get the Spear Charm. Otherwise, you're going as far north to the far edge of Liurnia. The two marks I put on the map are for Raya Lucaria Crystal Caves and Ruin-Strewn Precipice, which you can do in any order. I just go to the Crystal Caves first because it's the first one you're going to reach. Make sure that along the way, you grab the 3 stones that are along all of the gazebos along the way. There's one just north of Laskier Ruins, which you'll be going through anyways for the map fragment, and one a small ways northeast of that, which is directly north of the Scenic Lake Race, and then the last one is just southwest of the Raya Lucaria Crystal Cave, surrounded by poison flowers. When you're actually in the cave, there is a 3 somber stone and a 3 normal stone on the opposite side of the room that's accessed by doing a little jumping bit. The next room after that, there are 3 more stones and a 3 rune under the platform you come in on. And after that, you just go down the elevator. About halfway down on the back left is a hidden path you can jump to that takes you to a Somber 2 stone if you're going for a Somber weapon. The next room over with the shortcut elevator has 4 more stones, and the room after has a 1 and a 2 stone off to the side with the mannequin enemy. The room after the mannequins has 4 3 stones, 3 in the center and 1 off to the side, a Somber 1 stone, and a 2 stone all the way in the back under the entry platform. That'll be all you need from Raya Lucaria Crystal Tunnels. Time to head north to Ruin-Strewn Precipice. Basically, if you turn right and hug the wall after leaving the tunnels, you'll end up at the Ravine Grace, and then just have to head north from there to wind up at the base of Ruin-Strewn Precipice. On the right after you come in, a body will have the first 4 stone, and as well on the one on the wall behind. Go up the elevator and ignore everything else in the area. Kibble the exploding beetle just before the next grace for a Somber 4 stone if you want it. And from the second Ruin Grace, the elevator up will have a 4 rune lying on the ground with the bats and a 4 stone behind the ladder up. The area above will have 3 more 4 stones and a rune. After you've grabbed them, just make a mad dash past the demon lady. For safety's sake, you can dash past everything and go all the way up to the upper grace if you get poisoned. Otherwise, the area above will have a 4 stone under the ladder, a 3 stone on the corpse by the ladder, and 2 more 4 stones by the octopus across the bridge on the little overhang. That's everything from the 2 caves that I've mentioned. After this, head back toward the Scenic Island or Laskia Ruins Grace, and then head north to the Artist Shack Grace. Once you're there, head north a little ways and get a 4 stone off of a corpse in a chair looking off the cliff. Now you're going to go all the way back to the first step and make your way to the ruins off to the right to get transported to Celia Crystal Caves. After grabbing the Grace down the hill, go up and grab a 5 stone along the back wall before heading into the next area. Find another stone on the floor and continue up the ladder, jumping back across for a somber 4 stone, and across the gap are 2 more 5 stones. And lastly, in the room after the shortcut ladder is another 5 stone. All of that collecting is roughly half of what we need, so now it's time to head out into Caelid. Heading right out of the cave and right again at the giant beetle gets you a somber 5 stone, otherwise just keep going straight into Aeonia and up the shore to the first Grace. From here, head north along the shore, and eventually you'll reach a circle of bodies and chairs with a 4 stone waiting for you. From here, head up the hill to the next Grace and proceed all the way to Redmane Castle. On your way by the Archer Tower, use the ladder to get a free 6 stone, and keep going into Redmane. Once inside, open the shortcut door. Opposite the door will be more 4 stones, and when you make it to the lower portion, take a hard right and head straight to the next Grace before continuing. Out from the Grace and up the staircase will be another 4 stone, and down with the lines will be another. Heading into the tower behind the abductor and following the path will get you a 6 stone from a chest. At this point, it's time to get the medallions for Dectus, so going to Greyroll's Dragon Barrow and Eastern Limgrave is required. As a note, you could progress through Ruin-strewn Precipice, but for the purpose of this video, not killing any bosses obviously requires us to get Dectus, and this is also a little bit friendlier, in case you either haven't gotten your weapon for your build yet, or just don't feel like fighting the boss. Also grab the key for Raya Lucaria for later, and then head up the lift. Once you're in Altus, make like you're headed for Lindell, but once you get to the Grace behind the Tree Knights, go behind it and down into the valley for the sealed cave. Once inside, and once you've opened the illusory wall, there's a 5 stone immediately behind you once you get to the bottom level of the room. Take the path through the other illusory wall behind the back of the room, and jump off the elevator partway down for another stone. And the room after this elevator, drop down and have the abductor break the rock for another 6 stone. And just after that room, there are 2 5 stones on the bottom level on the walls. The last stone you need from the sealed tunnel is on the drop down to the boss room. After you finish in the sealed tunnel, return to Liurnia and head into Raya Lucaria. Your goal here is to get to the 3rd Grace, then drop down the water wheel. At the bottom is an abductor which you want to grab and then kill you so you end up in Volcano Manor. Now in the manor, the next step is to get all the way to the Grace at the end of the section. From the Grace, just jump down into the lava pit, and there will be a 4 and a 6 stone to grab. Once you've gotten everything in the dungeon, it's time to make your way to Volcano Manor proper. But, on your way toward Mount Gelmir, at the upper campsite, you can get a Somber Stone 6 just past the graveyard next to it. The end goal for all normal upgrades is going to be Volcano Manor proper, however, so join into the mansion and just start opening all the doors, and once you make your way outside to the town below, dash past everything to get to the guest hall Grace. Parkour on the rooftops just outside to get the last 6 stone. The last few stones for this section of the video are just your 1s, 2s, and maybe some 3s if you missed any of the gazebos, which you can buy from any of the merchants between Liurnia and the Weeping Peninsula. And all of that will carry you to plus 17 with no boss encounters. If you want to get even more powerful before battling any of the story bosses, you can kill the Knights Cavalry in Eastern Liurnia for the Ice Spear Ash of War and the Deathbird north of Scenic Isle to get the Red Feathered Branch. After that, you can just kill both Falling Star beasts and go up by the Plague Church in North Caelid to push yourself to plus 20 with no main story progress. If you want a +9 somber weapon, you just have to kill the exploding beetle and grab another stone off the circle of bodies just outside the Divine Tower of Caelid. Then grab the 9-stone volcano manor.
In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.